thanks to this group called the Alliance, which is, again, an international group comprising a majority of the different countries of the world, their governments, their militaries, and a surprising number of the military and intelligence community here in the US. They are all working now for a common goal, which is to stop this insanity that is going on with the globalist elite who are literally trying to depopulate the planet. They want to reduce how many people are here by billions. They even put that initiative out there in the so-called Georgia Guidestones, where it says that they want to bring the planet's numbers down to 500 million people. They do have very elaborate underground facilities that can hold millions of people. They have incredible underground drilling technology. They have the ability to build incredible cities in a relatively short time. And that is where a lot of our money is going. Our money is not just disappearing, it's going underground and it's going off planet. And this is no different than what we see in the history of Rome, in which Rome was expanding so much that now all of their money is offshore because they're busy trying to build empires outside the homeland, and the homeland ends up crumbling. Except in this case, the homeland is the Earth's surface. What we're not seeing is these gorgeous, glistening, beautiful underground cities. All of these various shuttle systems that they call the sub-shuttle that allows you to be transported at very high speeds from one city to another. We don't see all the spacecraft that they've been designing. We don't see the elaborate build-outs they have on the moon, which are usually on the dark side so that we don't see the lights when the moon is obscured by the Earth's shadow. We don't see any of the stuff that they've got on Mars. We don't see the stuff that they have on various other moons and asteroids in our solar system. This is real. This is not science fiction. We are being lied to on an unbelievable level. And Trump definitely is aware of at least a good part of what is going on. So we are dealing with a corporate structure that has completely broken away from the elected, legitimate governmental bodies of the Earth. They don't answer to anybody, they're not accountable to anybody, and they have a technological advantage that makes it very difficult to approach them on their own terms. But this is another interesting area, which is the idea that the secret space program itself, despite being what Richard Dolan would call a breakaway civilization, actually does have its own alliance where they are doing their part to try to bring all of their technology to us. Understand that the whistleblowers I've spoken to, the insiders, have said that the technology in the secret space program is so vast that it would literally solve all of the problems we have on Earth. Clean up radiation, desalinate water and bring it to the point where it's drinkable, greening the deserts, solving all of our problems with trash, solving all of our problems with hunger, with poverty, starvation, homelessness, you name it. There is nothing that we can't do with the technology that already exists. This technology also includes portal travel, the ability for us to go to the stars. It's truly phenomenal stuff, and it shouldn't be kept hidden from us. So wouldn't it be amazing if President Trump decided to come forward with what he knows? And that seems to be a big part of what's going on here. And I've been talking about this for many years. Pete Peterson was giving me briefings from the Alliance all the way back in 2009, where they had a plan to do mass arrests of the people in the so-called deep state. And now what we're seeing is over 55,000 sealed indictments on the books. And we're about to get another update as of October 31st, which is today, the time that I'm taping. And it's probably going to be a few thousand more. Could even be over 60,000 by now. I don't know yet. But the point is, those sealed indictments contain many, many names of people in the deep state. And sealed indictments can have up to 93 people's names in them. This is another important point. When I went back and I looked at various other sealed indictments that became unsealed, such as when they were busting organized crime rings for drugs, I saw plenty of them that had 30 people listed, 40 people listed, this kind of thing. So don't get hung up on 55,000 sealed indictments as if that means it's 55,000 people. The number could be a lot higher than that. And so we really don't know how this is going to happen, when this is going to happen, what form it's going to take, but it is going to be really incredible.
We stand at the birth of a new millennium, ready to unlock the mysteries of space, to free the Earth from the miseries of disease, and to harness the energies, industries, and technologies of tomorrow.
After the inauguration, the president signed a number of secret memorandums stating that he wanted the release of advanced technology. And a lot of this technology was involved in the space program. We know that President Trump is aware of advanced technologies because his uncle was the one who went in and cleared out the safe of Tesla after his death. Aside from the Secret Space Program Alliance, we have a different alliance.
The alliance is an international group. It is a confederacy. There are lots of different factions, some of which agree, some of which do not agree, about the only thing that they all have in common is they want to see this elitist cabal come down in flames. They do not want these people trying to kill off most of the planet, trying to control all of this immensely high technology. The alliance also consists of a surprising majority now of personnel in the US military and in the US intelligence community. So we're going to have to deal with the fact sooner or later, and probably sooner, that not everybody in the government is bad. This is part of the psyop that was put out through movies and through media to get us to completely distrust all levels of society, all of the institutions, so that no one will ever be able to oppose these people.
I've talked over a year about the alliance, and the alliance is made up of a loosely knit group of people fighting the cabal. The alliance had sort of made a deal that they were going to go for a partial disclosure, which is they're going to let us know about certain technologies, certain parts of our history, but in little pieces and protracted out over 20 to 50 years. Well, those of us in this full disclosure project, we want full disclosure, and we want full disclosure now, and that's what we're working for.
So President Trump mentioning that he's creating a space force and this is going to be a new branch of the US military is certainly a very interesting point. And in fact, my fellow commentator Benjamin Fulford recently just told me that he was listening to radio in Japan and they were recruiting soldiers for a space force and said that it would be similar to serving on a ship. This is happening now. So we have some really interesting stuff going on here. What does Trump mean by a space force? What are we really hearing here? Where is this all going? I have received briefings about what this is supposed to be and where it's taking us. And it is very interesting. It does appear that we as a planet may need to fight some kind of a battle, because from what I've been hearing from various insiders, there is a very serious battle going on in space right now. We did apparently have a group of extraterrestrial beings that are highly evil, that have been written throughout our histories and our mythologies, going all the way back to the ancient Hindu scriptures, where they have Rakshasas, also called snakes, humanoid beings that look reptilian, that are very evil. So this is nothing new. These beings show up in people's fears, the archetype of Satan and demons, these beings that have vertical slit pupils, that have scaly skin. There actually is something to that. There's some deep part of our subconscious or our greater higher self that apparently knows these beings exist. All the different ETs that we see are human-looking in various forms, but this particular type is indeed derived from reptilian life, but it's reptilian life that evolved into a human-like form. They tend to be a lot taller than we are, sometimes twice the height or more of a conventional human being. They could weigh up to 3,000 pounds, be 14 feet tall, have a 5-foot wide span of their shoulders. These are very nasty beings. And they came to the Earth apparently going back to ancient history. They've been tampering with many different cultures throughout time. And they even made a deal with Nazi Germany in the late 1930s before it truly became Nazi Germany and did what it was doing for World War II. All of this stuff is not fiction. I've had too many different insiders who proved their bona fides to me. They showed me the legal documentation of their military service. They speak very articulately. Many of them are not on the record. They all have talked about these reptilian humanoids. And this is one of the things that Above Majestic does so well, is to expose what these beings are, where they came from. We have rare footage from William Tompkins that nobody's ever seen before except for maybe a few people, in which he's talking about this and the fact that he was there in World War II taking briefings from 29 different American spies embedded in Germany's secret space program. And one of the things that they were seeing as they were working in these secret facilities is these tall, reptilian-looking humanoids that were obviously extraterrestrials, telling everybody what to do, running the show, being in charge. Violent beings, beings you do not want to mess with, beings that will kill you if you disagree with them. So everybody's basically in something like a slave camp. Well, what I've heard from Pete Peterson is that in the not too distant past, there was a war in which we, as in Earth humanity, are now throwing off this Draco reptilian control. We are fighting them. We are fighting them in space. We are fighting them underground. There are entire cities that they had that we have destroyed. We have brought up our level of technology to the point that we are now at parity with them. We can fight them on their own territory. Our weapons are as good as their weapons, and it is a very serious battle that involves thousands of ships, many, many thousands of soldiers. So bear in mind that this is the world that I live in. These are the insiders that I talk to. It's very controversial stuff, but we have heard that there may in fact be a need for us to fend off more of this Draco threat, and that there will be a need for people from the conventional world to become aware of this and to engage in the fight. And this is serious. I'm not making this up. This is some of the briefings that I've gotten. I don't know if it's true, but it's certainly a provocative question.